So let's talk about the first companion set of metrics that we use to supplement our daily understanding of what is happening in our recruitment funnel. That very first set of companion metrics are called conversion rates. Conversion rates are just quite simply the number of people who are graduating from one step to the next. So the percentage of people who are going, let's say, from impression to visit or visit to lead or what have you, all the way down to the percentage of people who go into enrollment. So that's what we call conversion rates. And that's the first set of companion measures that we look at on a day-to-day basis, the conversion rate between each step. And while every clinical trial can be quite different, there are still some industry averages that we could look to benchmark ourselves and our funnel performance. And they all happen at the top of the funnel, as it so happens. So let's talk about the very first conversion rate, the conversion rate from impression to visit. The industry average for the conversion rate from impression to visit is about 1%. At Clara, we actually shoot for 2 to 3%, which is obviously double or triple the industry average. The way we're able to do this is we actually do a lot of work to make sure that the way we buy impressions, the people we speak to and seek out through digital advertising, we make sure that that's all really well targeted. So by doing some back-end work, we're filling the funnel at the very top with traffic that is pretty well qualified already, full of motivated patients who are looking for a clinical trial like the ones we're helping out. But again, when you're buying across traditional media, digital media, and flyers even, your impression to visit rate will get diluted. That's just a matter of math. So if you're in that 1% ballpark, that's pretty good. 2 to 3%, that's what we shoot for here at Clara. The visit to lead rate, so the number of people or the percentage of people leaving their contact information and saying, I'm interested from visiting your landing page, the industry average is about 2%. What we look for here is about 3 to 4%. Now, a lot of that is due to the fact that we have this luxury of being able to own and create our own landing pages, full of the best practices that we learned over working with many trials and thousands of patients. However, you don't need to have that much technical know-how, that much coding know-how to be able to get to this more aggressive 3 to 4% rate from the 2% industry average. If you think about your landing page, it's basically your welcome mat. It's your handshake. It's a big hug that you give to the person coming in who wants to find out more. So when you understand it that way, it's actually quite intuitive that the more engaging your landing page is, the more chances that you're going to give yourself to converting a visitor into someone who is now interested. So make sure that content is really high quality. Make sure that the photography is really high quality. Make sure that the language you use is super clear, easy to understand, and speak in the language of the patient so that they don't feel intimidated or scared or put off by the way you're speaking to them as they come in for their big welcome. So 3 to 4%, that's what we shoot for. 2% about industry average. If you could get even a little bit north of 2%, I would say you're doing a pretty good job. Now, if we go from lead to pre-screen, this number actually gets a little more aggressive on our end. We shoot for 10%. So 10% of people leaving their contact information will complete the pre-screener survey. Of course, the industry average is about 5. The reason we're able to do this is we fixate on a couple of different measures. One we'll talk about, which is response times in a little bit. But by making sure that our outreach to the patient, our hospitality to the patient, the way we engage them and how quickly we engage them once they indicate interest, that actually gives us a great ability to convert a lead who is now excited about the trial into someone who is excited enough to take a pre-screener. So if you're quick to get back to a patient, if you're super responsive, if the tone of voice and the hospitality that you show this lead who is now interested is really, really high quality, you're going to set yourself up for, I bet, something north of 5%. But again, 5% is industry average. 10% is what we shoot for here at Clara. Anything in between, again, pretty good job. Now, from pre-screen to passing, passing to consenting, and so on, down to enrollment, that can obviously differ quite wildly. If my pre-screener only has one condition, one question that needs to get answered, and the question just needs to be answered yes versus no, that's going to give me a much better chance at getting, let's say, a 50% pass rate versus a trial with really stringent exclusion and inclusion criteria. So from here on down, it can vary quite wildly, and there is unfortunately no real industry measure, no industry average. However, by getting in the practice of measuring these conversion rates step to step to step on a daily basis, you're going to set yourself up for success all the way through your recruitment effort. It's going to reveal so much about where the hurdles might be, where the hangups might be, if you're buying too many unfocused, untargeted impressions, or if there's a problem with the nature of the way you're administering the pre-screener. All those problems, all those potential hurdles, all those potential solutions will reveal themselves once you start looking at your conversion rate. So we think this is a pretty important companion measure, the conversion rate. Now we'll talk a little bit about the way we think about cost under the Clara framework.